Hello friends, computer science is a much more trending field at this stage than a decade ago. It would be highly beneficial for us as computer scientists to control major segment of the population since we can communicate with the super machines via different languages. Knowing a programming language can really prove to be beneficial as one can do anything with it such as make an application which is a big chance to make good money for lifetime, develop softwares which can make our work 100 times easier and faster, analyze data of the respective field, and so on. So, on a platform of multiple languages such as Java, Python, Perl, and B- C++, is one of the most used languages among the software engineers and programmers. Out of all, I would be comparing between C++ and Python, the difference in how reliable, efficient, and the program structure of them. There are so many languages that it's like the languages we have currently in the world, such as English, French, Spanish. Similarly, in computers, we have many different languages such as C++, COBOL, Python, C Sharp, and so else. So, what is computer science? Computer science is the systematic study of information and an interaction with it. What are programming languages? Programming languages are independent of specific computer architecture, but they are human creations. As such, they follow certain conventions. So every programming language has different set of rules how we speak to them. Let's say let's pick a language C++. It has many compilers, but it has every compiler has a certain standard which they need to follow. So whatever code you put in any compiler, it will run the same program. What is C++? C++ is an intermediate level object oriented programming language. It is one of the most popular programming languages and is implemented on a wide variety of hardware and operating system platforms. As an efficient performance driven programming language, it is used in system software, application software, device drivers, embedded software, high performance server and client applications, and entertainment software such as video games. So basically, C++ is used like everywhere. What is Python? Python is an interpreted interactive object oriented programming language that is used for teaching computer programming and for a wide range of applications in business, science, and academia. So Python is recently like growing. It's easy interpretable language. So many high school students are being taught Python as their first language. Origin of C++. C++ was developed by Danish programmer Bjørn Stroustrup in 1979. It was initially named with C with classes, and later it introduced with many new features such as function overloading. Origin of Python. Python was developed by Dutch programmer Guido van Rossum in 1989. It was created with the purpose of making a multi-paradigm programming language. It was made extensible to use other programming languages library. So Python was mainly created to make programming easier and to make it more flexible and more usable to create like more efficient programs, more extensive programs. It has the feature to use other programming languages library. So, for example, Python can use a C++ library as well. Demands for top programming languages. Many tech companies such as Google, they need like specialized programmers such as a Java programmer, C++ programmer, uh, Python programmer, and since every language has their own specialty, um, it it implements it, the is more programmer builds more efficient programs with that knowledge. So as you see, like Python is increasing steadily. C++ there is constant demand, and Java, which is more of a graphical type, is also greatly in demand. So where are these languages used? Did you know that Windows 7, which we use, Windows 8 applications which you use, is made of C++, and moreover, it has also C sharp and a bit of assembly code into it. The Mac, the Apple, it uses Objective C, and some parts are made in C++. For even in mobile and computer applications, but mainly like the computer and the mobile applications, the iPad apps, they are dependent on the programmer since there are so many languages now. Popular games in Python. Um, Disney's Toontown, Disney's Pirates of Caribbean, Battlefield Heroes. If you ask a kid, I'm sure they would know that. Popular games in C++. Diablo, which is a famous game. I guess everyone has it in their phone or computer. Blackjack, I'm sure everyone have played once. Minecraft, yeah, that's a very popular game. I used to play this during my childhood. Applications of C++. If you see Adobe's products, it is made in C++, such as Photoshop, Illustrator, Reader, and Adobe Premiere, and many other products of Adobe. They all are made in C++. Google's Mozilla Firefox, the browser which I'm using now, that is made in C++. Microsoft Internet Explorer, Winamp Media Player, though it is long time, it's an old audio player. Bloomberg, by one which gets stock market updates, it's made in C++. Facebook, it has many parts of Facebook is made in C++. Applications of Python. Reddit, which is a currently upcoming social media network, uh, it is made in Python. The BitTorrent, Google Talk, the Mailman, Dropbox, the cloud drive, it's made in Python. Now I'm comparing here the Hello World, the most simple program which every computer science one class uh, students have to do it. So as we see, like in the C++, we have to write all from the basic, like include input output stream using namespace std, then the main function and everything. Whereas in Python, if we just type print hello world, it will and press enter, it will just print hello world. So if you're doing a program in C++, it will take you 10 lines for the same output. Whereas Python, the advantage is you can just do it in one line. So this is a proper comparison. C++ is more of a compiled form, like a coding language, whereas Python it is interpreted form. As you see here, it says print hello world, which is like someone is talking like English, like print hello world, and it's getting printed. Whereas here, it's very code like a programmer language, like Cloud, which is C output, which is kind of a machine language. It is saying to give a output of hello world. C++ is faster, um, whereas Python is very slow. Now, if if you're making a big program, C++ would compile, C++ would run faster, whereas Python would take time to read the text, the interpreted text, so it will decrease its speed for loading. C++ has very good memory allocation, whereas Python, it has less memory allocation. In vectors, like one can use dynamic memory allocation. Um, However, C++ has disadvantage, that it is very complex language to learn, whereas Python goes towards advantage that it is easy to use, has it's a English interpreted language. Uh, C++ C++ have primitives such as int, which means integer, float, which are like data variables, which the text can be classified, whereas Python has no primitives. C++ is good for any size of program. Python is more suitable for small scales programs because it has less memory, so it could not hold like large data. C++ can sometimes get expensive by let's say if it's a big program, it would need additional CPU and memory resources, whereas Python would require low development cost because it's the application which is doing the job. So, in conclusion, I would say C++ gives a great performance, whereas Python gives great productivity. So, now let's say a small company needs to make an application and it would hire a Python programmer because it would fulfill its purpose by making small application, as well as it would be like a less pay because the language the Python language is easier than the other ones, and even the development cost is low, so the small scale company would use Python rather than C++, whereas large companies like Google obviously would be using C++ and Python for, I mean, Google has many apps now, so it would use C++ for the like heavy apps such as Mozilla, and Python for like literally, the Google Play applications, maybe for that. Here is a speed test. I'll come back to that. So here is a tic-tac-toe application. Um, so this is the algorithm. So if space 1 equals to space 2 and space 2 equals to space 3, player 1 wins. Now let me show you the video. So that is Python. How many times you want to flip? And that is C++. So that's 4 million, and it's loading, 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 ping. Yeah, again 4 million times and loading, ping. You saw the difference? No. Now you went higher. Ping, instant. So C++ is more faster, reliable, and convenient for big programs, whereas Python is for small programs. So hi, so here I come back to my code. I've declared the spaces in my board as arrays. So string space equals to 10. So it will create 10 spaces for the values to be entered. I will show you how my code works. So here I have initialized the array values, and I have inserted a while loop. So while game running, it will print the board and ask the player for the for his choice. So if choice equals to 1, player equals to 1, and space 1 will be equals to x. Else if it will be, if its player equals to 2, space 1 equals to O, and then it will switch the player. So if player equals to 1 has I've declared player equals to 1. So if player equals to 1, it will be player equals to 2. So here it will switch the player, else player equals to 1. And the switching function will be only valid in the this if uh, if loop. So if any player has won, so game finish will be true, and game running equals to false, which will exit the while loop. Let's go to check win. So if space 1 equals to space 2 and space 2 equals to space 3, win will be equals to true. So similarly for all, and if win equals to true, it will detect the player, and it will print which player wins. Else, if no one wins, it will declare as tie, and game finish equals to true. So let's see how it works. 1, 2, 4, then 3, 7. So player 1 wins because X at X 7 here. Now I want to show you the Python code. So now I want to show you how a Python code works. So x equals to x, which is declared as a string, whereas in C++, where we would declare has string x equals to x. So here it's no primitives are required. Here it's direct, x equals to x, and it's the string. Then the while loop. So while response is not in y or n, like just like English language. So while response not in y or n, it will response equals to raw input. Then for the for loop, for square in range num squares. For loop for square in range. The range is a new function of Python. So num squares is 0 to 8. So for square in range 0 to 8, board dot append empty. So it will print a new board. Declare a victory. These are the ways a person can win the game. So if it's 0 equals to 1 equals to 2, then the player wins. In C++, how if space 1 equals to space 2 and space 2 equals to space 3, win equals to true. So whereas here it's just like numbers like 0, 1, 2. If 0, 1, 2 squares match, they are the player will win. And to declare a function in Python, we use def define, and next turn, and if turn equals to x, return 0, else return x. Thank you for watching.